They likely have to win the ACC, and he has to match or beat his numbers from a year ago.
Here he goes, breaking a tackle. Jackson making moves at the 10, right on cue, staring down the defender as he hits pay dirt. Touchdown, Lamar Jackson.
Mayfield, look left, has room, now throws it. Touchdown, Sherman muscles in the end zone, and the Sooners stretch the lead to double digits. 11. Barrett again throws low, picked off. Going down low is Parnell Motley. First takeaway for Oklahoma, and they are set up.
How's it going, everybody? Flash Jordan here. It is week 3 of the college football season. We're already at week 3. I can remember filming the week 1 episode. The year's going by fast, but the faster it goes, the closer we get to the college football playoff. But I'm not going to look at that right now. We don't care about that. We're looking to this week's matchups. But we actually are going to take a recap of last week about a couple of things that happened last week that need to be mentioned. First off, my thumbnail and the title for last week's video, I completely jinxed myself being an Ohio State fan, saying that week 2 is upset weekend, and it surely was. Oklahoma absolutely outplaying on Ohio State on basically every level you can think of on Saturday. Another thing we need to talk about is how poorly JT Barrett played in that game. He was absolutely terrible. He could not throw the ball at all, and they didn't give many carries to either of the running backs, which I thought should have been more of a point of emphasis. But Baker Mayfield played great. I think he'll be a Heisman contender down the road. Speaking of Heismans, Lamar Jackson is showing that he could probably win 2 in a row. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. He played great last week against North Carolina, so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. But anyway, let's get into the predictions for this week. We are going to start off with Baylor Bears, who have lost 2 games that are unacceptable. And I'm going to put this as my 10 game because there's no way that the Duke Blue Devils are going to lose this after they destroyed Northwestern last week. Again, Baylor losing 2 straight to Liberty and then UTSA. There's no way they're winning this one. Duke Blue Devils all the way.
Well, I have Duke getting blown out 62-0 in this game. They're going to get clobbered. They're going to come back, team from Texas, and smash the Duke Blue Devils. That is my prediction. It is my 10th game. Now, in all honesty, I got Duke winning this game. Duke's an amazing team. Had a great game last week. The quarterback's probably going to be a Heisman watch list soon. He is 6'5", over 250 pounds, and can run and throw the ball. Duke will be a contender for the ACC championship this year. Look at them going against whoever is in the other division and possibly winning like a couple of years ago.
Reminds me of Cardale Jones. Alrighty, the next game we have the number 23 Tennessee Volunteers at the number 24 Florida Gators. I do not trust Florida's offense at all. I can't. They only scored like 3 points against Michigan, and then the 2 touchdowns they had were pick sixes. I can't trust Florida, so I'm going to pick Tennessee in this one.
If I had a game, I say this a lot, I think. If I had a game where I could pick both teams to lose, that would be great. This is one of those games. You know what? I actually live right next to Tennessee, literally just a few feet from the border. Bottom line, I don't like Florida either. No, not because of Tim Tebow, not because of Urban Schmeyer. I don't like Florida because Florida's in the SEC. That's right, I said it. And you know what? I want both to lose. But I have Florida winning this game. And this is, once again, annually overrated ever since Peyton Manning was there. We're just got this game by at least field goal.
The next game we have is the number 10 Wisconsin Badgers, who will be traveling to play the BYU Cougars. BYU has looked terrible in all 3 weeks. They got shut out by LSU. They had an okay game against Utah, but their offense is just kind of like, Florida has just not been there. And Wisconsin, they've gotten off to a couple slow starts, but they picked it up in the second half. I do think this is going to be a close game, but I'm going to pick Wisconsin to win it.
So you said Wisconsin versus BYU, right?
Yep.
I just want to make sure that I'm hearing this correctly. Wisconsin versus BYU is a pick'em game. I don't get it. Why is this game on the pick'em? Wisconsin is so much better than BYU. Wisconsin is so much better than LSU. This one should be my 10 game. If there was an 11 game, I'd put it there.
Alrighty, the next game here, a game that should be a blowout. The SMU Mustangs heading to play number 20 TCU Horned Frogs. Now TCU has looked really good in these past couple weeks, but don't doubt SMU in this game. It is an in-state game, so you never really know. But I'm going to pick TCU to win this one. Might be my 7, 8, or 9 game.
Good to see SMU back in the spotlight. I like it when schools like SMU, a non-power conference team, gets a vote on the public eye. Of course, we all want to see SMU win. SMU is not extremely horrible. Or is TCU just that great? Picking the upset here on SMU.
Wow, okay. You pick with your heart, not your head. That's why you're always last in our group.
No, I'm based on what I want to see.
Anyway, moving on. Oregon Ducks traveling to Wyoming to play Josh Allen and the Wyoming Cowboys. Now the only reason this game's a pick'em is because everyone's hyped up Josh Allen this year. Oregon's going to destroy Wyoming in this game. It will not be close. That's become the common theme of a few of these games here this week. This game's not going to be close. They're just overhyping Josh Allen. Oregon's going to take this one.
Once again, what are the teams? Seriously, what are they?
Oregon and Wyoming.
I was just making sure I heard you correctly for a second time. Oregon versus Wyoming. Look, if Wyoming beats Oregon, oh my goodness. Because Wyoming is a crud team. And you know what? I'm going to say this. Oregon's just not that good. That must be why it's in here. But I'm picking Oregon.
Finally, a reasonable pick. Next game we have the Kentucky Wildcats going to play the South Carolina Gamecocks. Now, South Carolina has looked really good this week, or these past 2 weeks. I think they could be a contender for the SEC East this year, definitely. Kentucky, on the other hand, hasn't looked very good in these 2 weeks. They only beat Eastern Kentucky by 11, and near the end, I think they were losing at some point, but then they pulled away. So I think South Carolina is going to win this game, and I think it'll be by a solid margin of about, a couple touchdowns.
Well, we're in the middle of the games here. I got Kentucky. I mean, it's just 2 SEC teams playing each other. 2-0. It is a really good game. Right now everybody has SC just killing it. I'm going to pick Kentucky. I like Kentucky, particularly better than South Carolina. It could be South Carolina this year, but I'm going Kentucky with this one. It's going to be my number 7 game.
Okay. Next game we have, number 18 Kansas State Wildcats against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Now, I think Kansas State's going to win this one. I think it'll be a great game, though. I think it might come down to, the last possession. I'm gonna say Kansas State, though. I think this is the year of the Wildcats, the better purple Wildcats, that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kansas State's going to win this one, but it'll be a really, really good game.
I'd actually go to this game. Kansas State is one of the teams that is annually every year has problems with their staff. They don't get the best recruits ever. Vanderbilt, however, they're like a BYU and Iowa State. They've got talent, but they're one of the schools that it's going to get the 8, 9, 10 win in their best. This could be where they go 2-1. I'm picking Kansas State.
Next game we have, actually I'm going to save that one for last. The next game we have Texas Longhorns versus the number 4 USC Trojans. Now this is the first time that Texas has come back to the Coliseum since they beat the Trojans in the national championship game with Vince Young. Actually, that was played at the Rose Bowl. I don't know what I'm saying, but anyway, it's close to the Coliseum. That being said, USC is going to absolutely destroy Texas. Obviously, the way Maryland played against them, I expect USC to do most of the same things.
Well, again, Maryland versus Texas, look what happened. The question is Maryland a better team than Texas? And if that's the case, then this is my 10 game, but I can't. It's going to be the game underneath it. I mean, USC all the way. It's pretty sad that it's up here. However, I have put my foot in my mouth before with an upset loss like this. So you got to be careful with it. It's USC.
Next game, we have the Ole Miss Rebels going to Berkeley to play the California Golden Bears. This is a pretty tough one. Ole Miss has looked good. Both teams have looked pretty good. Cal with the win against North Carolina in Week 1. I'm going to pick Ole Miss in this game, though. I think, as you see here, their quarterback had 489 passing yards last week. I'm just not, that confident in Cal's first-year head coach. But, hey, you never know. I think Cal could win this game, but I think Ole Miss is going to win it in a dogfight.
So I do like the fact that Patterson threw for that many yards. But, and again, I would just say, if you're a starting quarterback, you ought to throw for 500 yards versus Tennessee Martin. The thing is that, like I said in the first week, Cal has a chip on their shoulders. I need Cal USC to be the biggest game of the year for the Pac-12 this year. I'd like to see the Pac-12 do well, and that's why I'm picking Cal. And it's not just a heart, I'm also taking with my head. Cal's got a solid coach. Looks like they have decent athleticism on their team. We're going to Cal here, and it's at home.
You know what? This may be the first time in this channel's history. I'm actually going to agree with you. I'm going to switch my pick there. I do feel that Cal's going to win this game at home, so that was a good call there. I'm switching to Cal on that one. And the final game of the week, the biggest game of the week, game day will be there. The number 3 Clemson Tigers at the number 14 Louisville Cardinals. Again, I think Lamar Jackson could win a second Heisman Trophy. I think he's in the top 5 already right now. Clemson just... I picked Auburn to beat them last week, and they were ahead for a long time, and I'm still not confident in this Clemson team's ability to win games. So I think Louisville is going to win this one based on their past experiences with top 3 ACC teams. Remember what they did last year to Florida State. So I'm picking Louisville to win this one. I think Lamar Jackson's going to have another fantastic game.
So last year, just a little bit of history here. Last year, Louisville smoked Florida State. They were number 2 at the time, and then they played a cake game. Marshall actually scored less points and had more points scored on them with Marshall. And then Louisville played Clemson, and Clemson barely won. So this should be a repeat of last year, and I'm going to say that Clemson's going to win again. And it's going to be just as close, if not closer. It was a 6-point win last year, so I'm going to say win by a field goal or overtime in this game, but I'm going with Clemson.
Not a bad prediction there. Again, I think Louisville's going to win. Anyway, so that'll wrap up episode number 4 of this college football season. We made a Big Ten video earlier, but that's of no relevance. Again, we'll see you next week. Anything you'd like to say for the people at home?
Yeah, I want to say, look, good luck, submit your picks, and Daddy-O out.
All right, thank you all for watching.